Oh dear. Oh my. That was okay. I did. Oh no. That's okay. We have enough juice to keep us going. I cringe every time you do that. Stuff.
Hey.
Just makes me very nervous. Hi everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Ramble presents Good Willow Hunting.
Yes.
So what this is we're the Ramble podcast.
Right.
And the third member of the podcast, Cody. Hi. Can you wave to everyone, Cody?
Hi.
That's
Hey.
Cody right there.
Hi.
Film critic.
Film critic Cody Villafania has
Not acclaimed film critic.
not acclaimed film critic because there are certain films he's never seen. Like
Right.
Porky's,
And
Porky's
that's
2. And
Chud.
So, Chud 2.
Yeah.
So until he sees those films, he can't be an acclaimed.
film
So
critic.
the mission of this is to
Yes.
get him to see those films, and then we finally get to what's really holding him back. You could say it's the Hamlet of being considered a real film
Yes.
critic.
Yes, I
and
would
that's
say that.
having seen Willow.
Right.
And so once he gets past that,
Can't attain full film critic until
no,
you've seen.
no. That's I
Willow.
guess. Would you say that's building your own lightsaber? Is
I
watching
would say
Willow?
that would probably be. That's
Yeah.
getting your
Right.
your Padawan tail cut off.
Right, your Padawan tail gets cut off if you build your own saber. So today, it's the Xmas Bonanza.
Right.
Continues.
Right. Last Good Willow Hunting, Christmas Vacation kicked off our
Gremlins and
Gremlins,
Christmas
then
Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Right, and then this one,
This week.
Batman Returns.
Right.
Cody's got some hot takes coming in on
hot
this
takes.
one. Eddie and I have some hot takes on This is one thing that is going to be
This could be-
blasphemous for many.
This could be controversial.
This is gonna be. This
Our
might
first
be the
very
most. This
controversial.
might be the one where the Ramblers turn on us and not Cody. I think for
Yes,
this.
we could be the ones.
We're
ostracized.
gonna get in the. We're gonna be because I think Eddie and I both agreed our favorite Batman movie
of all Batman
of
films.
all the Batman films. Batman Returns.
We're talking the
is
Keaton
my
Batmans, the
Keaton,
Kilmer Batman,
Kilmer,
the
Clooney,
Clooney Batman,
Christian Bale,
the Christian Bale Batmans,
the Adam West from '66. That movie.
Don't forget
They're
Affleck.
close.
What's that?
Don't forget
Affleck.
Affleck.
Affies.
This might be my favorite.
It is
Batman
my favorite
film.
Batman movie. It is, and for the reasons that what I told Cody is I'm a big Tim Burton mark, and I look at this movie as like Tim Burton's fever dream. He
Right.
just
Well,
made.
Tim Burton runs hot and cold with me. Like I love
Right.
some of his stuff. And
Yes.
other stuff I can't.
That's a
fucking
good point.
stand.
Good point. But like to me, this is when he was in his boom. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
he was just knocking them out, and I think. I love this fucking. One thing that you and I both talked about is Batman is just as big of a psycho as the villains.
Yeah,
in this
he's just
movie.
as crazy as Catwoman
and
the Penguin.
Just as I mean, and here's why I say that. Okay, if you have met someone that you're crushing on hard,
Yeah.
and it's Michelle Pfeiffer, so how could you not?
Right.
And you're dancing at a party, and she pulls out a gun and says,
I'm gonna go kill that.
I'm
dude.
going to go kill my boss, and starts laughing and crying maniacally. And you're not out. You're not just
Well,
like,
you
okay.
also have to take into consideration how hot Michelle Pfeiffer
I
is.
am out. Who's not? Okay, party's over.
Yep, okay, but
And
you,
Bruce Wayne's like, this can work. We can make
no,
this
he's
work.
just you got to take into effect. Maybe he's just trying to seal the deal. Had this been post coitus, he may have
He
walked.
might have been like, I'm out.
But this is before the conquest. He's like,
He's
you know
trying
what?
to
I
seal
can
it.
ride this out.
I'm just gonna
gonna keep doing this
To
and-
see her naked once, and then never
And
again.
then I'm done.
And then I'm done.
She's crazy, but I can handle this for another week.
Who isn't like, okay, she just pulled out a gun at a party, and she's gonna go.
She's
kill-
crying and laughing.
She's gonna go kill Gotham's Donald Trump. Okay, what am I supposed
He's
to?
like, we can
okay,
make this work.
We can make this.
But he is a psycho. Either that, or he's just the horniest man alive.
Right, psycho or just very, and also this, and here's where I'm gonna get shit from the Ramblers,
Yeah.
deservedly so, because I felt the Christopher Nolan movies weren't a great representation of the core Batman because he's not a detective.
No, he's just a thud.
But in this one,
Yeah.
he murders people, so that goes very much against.
but in these movies, Bruce Wayne doesn't even seem to have a job. Like he doesn't
Right.
do anything other
Yeah.
than be Batman and sit in the Batcave. Like
Yeah,
that's all he
he's
ever
just
does.
rich.
He's rich. He
He's just
inherited
rich,
the money.
man.
He didn't have to take care of the Wayne Foundation. Takes care of
Who
itself.
cares about the Wayne Foundation?
Right, it takes care of itself. That's it.
But we talked too that this is the perfect amount of like.
I
real-
lost you guys.
I know why.
Fucking mic.
This fucking mic. There
Now
we
you gotta
go.
Switch it
Wrong
over to
mic.
this thing. It's on
Oh,
the wrong
now we gotta
mics.
switch it again.
See,
Dude, that's
if
why I was
we were
nervous
Bruce
about
Wayne
this wire.
rich, we wouldn't have these
That's
problems.
true. God damn it.
But we talked about this. Is like this movie strikes to us. It struck the perfect balance of like the Tim Burton
Dark, weird
shit,
and just
with
camp.
with the campy Batman stuff of the '66 Batman series
Yes.
that I like so much.
You have a disfigured penguin who just he basically just jokes about raping every woman
Well,
he
he was
meets.
dumped in a river.
He was dumped in a river
by Pee Wee Herman.
by Pee Wee and Simone.
Yes.
And And they said, and Chris Walken, he's going to be our mayor. Like, it's just, I mean, it's not even Burgess Meredith Penguin running for mayor. It is like an actual mutant.
It's like if someone chewed up Burgess Meredith and then spit him out
and
then
said,
walk.
go
It's
run
like,
for
he's
mayor.
going to be our mayor.
And Danny DeVito does not get enough credit for how good he is in that role. Because, I mean, rightfully so, Michelle Pfeiffer steals it.
Of course.
She is incredible as Catwoman.
Of course.
But not enough credit is given to how good DeVito is. He just is such
With
a
that
horrific,
black shit coming out of his mouth all the time.
God, just a horrific,
His
evil,
fucking four
slimy
fingers,
psycho.
Fingers.
But that's when I first saw the movie, I was captivated by that opening scene. The music, I think it's one of Danny Elfman's best scores.
Yeah.
And then that music, when Pee Wee Herman and Simone just dump him into the fucking river, and the camera just follows the crib going into the sewers.
And he's raised by penguins.
And he's raised. Well, I think you implied he's raised by the circus.
I guess maybe the circus.
And then
the circus freaks raised him.
The circus freaks raised him, and then he had an affinity.
But what's cool about this movie is how cold it is.
Yes.
It's devoid of any human empathy.
None whatsoever.
At all.
I mean,
like we talked about earlier, like everybody, including Bruce Wayne, is psychotic in this movie. It's cold. Visually, it's cold. Contextually, it's cold. Like, everything about this movie is cold.
Would you say Alfred's the only one that has any...
He might be the only soul in the movie.
Is Alfred, and he's barely in it.
Yes.
And, I mean, because that... I mean, Jesus Christ, that... When Christopher Walken kills Selena Kyle, it's just like...
shoves her out the window.
He's just like, who tell who? And then she's like, oh. And then he just, ha, ha, ha. And then that, rah, he just fucking... It's like, God damn. Like,
everybody's psycho.
Everyone is fucking...
And the way she kills him at the end.
Is psychotic. It's just like, holy shit.
She kisses him with
a taser, fries him to death while she's holding on to like a torn... man.
She's throwing away one of her lives to kill him. For no reason.
For
she
no
doesn't
reason.
Need to.
Doesn't need to. Just to get payback. That's all that mattered. And like, and the one person who's not Alfred that has a soul is the goon, who goes, "Oh, come on, Penguin, little kids," and he just kills him. He shoots him dead. Like, that's it.
That might have been the only other heartbeat in the whole movie.
Yeah. So, Cody, your thoughts on Batman Returns?
Well, you guys told me that I probably didn't need to see the 89 Batman before I saw this one. But I watched it anyway because I had never seen it before. And it was interesting watching that because I don't think that it had any of Tim Burton's fingerprints on it. Didn't feel like him, other than the production design, which was very much him.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel too much like him. It didn't have like that gothic element, I don't think, that you would expect. And I thought that it was really like corny. I thought that a lot of it was really corny. And so it was funny to me watching Batman Returns and seeing how like instantly Tim Burton the movie is.
Yeah.
Right from that kind of the first sequence, the first big action sequence of the movie is totally a Tim Burton thing.
Yeah.
It's totally Danny Elfman too, like you were saying, like the xylophone score and like lots of stuff going on there that was not in the first movie. And so I was instantly kind of taken aback by, like, it seemed like it was an overcompensation for not having any of his fingerprints on the first one.
Yeah, I wonder if that first one was the studio was very heavy-handed in it because they're rolling out the first Batman movie.
They had to make it look, as safe as possible.
Let's make this safe and as digestible for the mass public as possible.
And it is very cheesy in a lot of ways, and it's not nearly as dark as this Batman Returns.
No,
it's nowhere near as dark.
The Joker's psychotic. I mean,
the only, I think the only Tim Burton thing is the way he just slowly disfigures and kills Jerry Hall's character. His girlfriend. That's a very
that's
God.
very creepy.
Like,
and the way
Jesus.
he's actually he's going to poison the entire
Right.
He's literally poisoning Gotham.
Oh, and then the newscaster. Like,
yes.
like that
There's
was good.
some elements in there, but nothing as much.
But I will say, I think my favorite shot in any Batman movie ever is from the very first one. And that's when the Batwing flies up to the moon and makes the bat symbol on them. I thought that was, as a kid, I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. But like, that there was, I don't think any Batman movie has had anything as iconic as that shot in it. But yeah, like
but this one, Batman Returns just struck that balance between what everyone's been trying to do with Batman since Dark Knight.
Yes,
of making this
more
super
serious
tone Batman, but also keeping the fun, campy elements of Batman.
Yeah, because it is like, and that's the one thing that I think, that's why I thought Michael Keaton was so good, is because at least he'll bring some levity,
Yes.
even though he's a psycho.
Yeah.
Christian Bale is just depressed the entire.
He was so lost in the orphan that had his parents killed.
Right.
That there was no.
I mean, I was telling Cody, like, there was one of the things I thought was with that I loved what Michael Keaton added was in the first one when Vicky Vale gets up to answer the door and then he's looking at her chair going, like, like he's trying. That was fun. And then the little thing where he does a little DJ scratch to the, like it's just there's just at least a little bit of humor.
No, there's Michael Keaton. There's some of that Michael Keaton in Batman. It's nice. There's just a human element of Batman.
So, what did you think of the plot, Cody, of the Penguin
Look,
running for mayor?
One thing that these Burton Batman movies seem to have a problem with, in my opinion, is the origin stories of its villains, or really any of its characters, because the plot of this movie is nonsense.
It is. Oh, it is.
It does not make sense that some fucking deformed weirdo from the sewer shows up and they're like, yeah, let's elect a mayor. He's super popular.
We have one as president right now.
Yeah, it's true. But that's a point Cody made last night, was it is an odd Trump analogy that kind of predated Trump by, but it's weird, like how we can take anybody.
Yeah.
And all he does was fake saving one baby, and they're like,
which, by the way, how do you not see that was fake? I mean, that was
right.
That wasn't even close to convincing.
And I think that was also kind of the point that they were trying to make with that was the absurdity of the goon going, oh no, it's that awful penguin creature. Like, it was clearly
it's the same absurdity, like, this guy that grew up in Manhattan who's a billionaire cares about poor people.
He can't, right. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
The same absurdity.
That's why I think it was done that way, right? Like it's so clear to the viewer that it's a con, but you see how the masses just swallow it.
Yeah.
Like, yep, okay.
You can easily con the masses.
I have something slightly controversial opinion here.
All right, here we go.
Which is that I would say that I think that Danny DeVito's performance is better than Jack Nicholson's performance.
I don't think you're wrong. Nicholson was fine, but he was Nicholson was, again, he
didn't go full
psycho.
Crazy,
he didn't go full psycho like Ledger did. Ledger was able to do psycho and goofy with Joker because he had comedic moments, he had timing, and he had those things. Like he had
Jack Nicholson's Joker was a lot more reminiscent of
Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero's Joker from the '66
series,
where it's like he's a gangster, he's a bad guy, he's cold-blooded.
You're not that afraid of him,
but he's not going to just know.
Yeah,
well,
Danny DeVito's Penguin, you're terrified of. That, you're like, I don't want to be anywhere.
And then they do it because he bites that dude's nose.
They're right. I mean, in his campaign office.
And you're like, oh, fuck, this guy can do anything.
And everyone's like, okay, we're good. Like, yeah, it just.
Right.
Danny DeVito was
but
fucking great.
Nicholson's Joker didn't keep you on edge the way, like, Heath Ledger's Joker did.
Right.
I liked his version of the Joker, but it's not the same.
Exactly. It
psychotic,
was good. Right.
Anarchist that the Joker really is.
DeVito, and I'm with Cody. DeVito was, and again, I think had it not been for Michelle Pfeiffer, DeVito runs away with the movie. But I just think Michelle Pfeiffer owned Catwoman perfectly.
Unreal.
From being goofy to the meltdowns to just from being like the nerdy secretary to then having.
She played crazy perfectly.
She was. It was amazing.
Like, could you imagine that Sean Young actually got that role?
Like she lobbied for.
Well, she dressed up as Catwoman.
Sean Young showed up on the set dressed as Catwoman, to the studio trying to get that role. And then she went on Joan Rivers' talk show dressed up as Catwoman, trying to get the role. And it was going to be Annette Bening. It was which I think Annette Bening would have been great.
She could have done it too.
But she got pregnant.
Yeah.
And so they had to replace her with. And Tim Burton took one meeting apparently with Michelle Pfeiffer and was like, "That's it."
Of course.
That she's in.
But again, can we talk about her origin story here?
See, now this is again, being a young
a bunch of cats sit on her and then she becomes Catwoman.
I loved it. I love that it had this again, that's where I go back to the fever dream. It just has this supernatural element that you don't expect. You know what I mean? Like it just I love the fact that a bunch of stray cats resurrect her.
Yeah, they just lick her back to life.
They just lick her, chew on her finger until she just comes to and again, you could also argue that maybe she wasn't dead because she fell through like 40 stanchion things and maybe that eased the blow a little.
But they also gave her 9 lives.
They gave her 9 lives. Right. Yeah, like it.
Look, guys. Here's the
just accept it.
Accept it.
I will tell you why I can't. So here's the thing. These movies are corny as fuck.
Yes.
Both of these Burton movies.
Yes.
And after watching Nolan's take on it,
Right.
which is like his biggest thing is having it be grounded in reality. You know, it's all of his movies for what they are grounded in reality on some level. And after watching that take, I don't know why you would prefer something this goofy over something that is like.
I think it's because we're comic book fans.
We're comic book fans.
And that could be it.
It goes back to Alan Moore said it best when he said Batman, the character itself, was never meant to have such heaviness put to it. It was never meant for that.
I don't mind superhero movies grounded in reality because I think that's what Marvel Cinematic Universe has done so well is ground everything in reality, but still have the element of fun and comic
and
book
just wild shit in it too. Yeah,
which I think that struck the point where the Nolan Batman stuff, and to the same extent the DC universe, it's so fucking dark. It
just takes itself too seriously. I think it just takes itself.
It's just not pleasant.
Right. That's why I told.
It's not fun to watch.
I enjoyed Batman Begins when I saw it. But then I saw it again. I was like, I just don't like it as much.
Yeah.
Dark Knight, I can't say it's a bad movie because Heath Ledger, you're watching an all-time performance.
Yes.
So you have to just get. I mean, he rescues that fucking it's just got
because he's as crazy as he is in that movie. He's the one element of fun in that movie to
again,
watch.
that's the perfect. No one has done. That's what Nicholson wasn't able to do. But when Heath Ledger's like, "Hey, I want to see this pencil disappear," and he just shoves it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Like you're like, "God damn,
it's
that's
horrifying
the Joker."
and funny.
Right. It's horrifying and funny.
Which
at
is
the
what
same
you would
time.
see in the comic books. You're like, that's why I like reading the Joker.
Yes, and like when he comes in, like, you think you'd just kill us all. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he plays it is so perfect. That's what. But the problem is Christian Bale doesn't match it
At all.
He just. It's like, are you fucking kidding? Like I just.
But
that's
I don't mind realism in comic book. I actually like it, but you have to strike that balance between fun.
And this is, I mean, yes, this is way. I mean, it's corny as fuck when you have 100 penguins with missiles strapped to them.
Exactly.
But that's what you would see in the '66 Batman series,
right? Yeah,
in Batman comic books before the '90s.
Yeah, Batman. It was probably. I might even gone like here. And here's the problem with Batman being like, the first time his outfit is yellow, gray, and blue. For so long, and then they tried to make him brooding, and it's like this guy looks like he's in a circus. He has is yellow, gray, and blue. Like, and they made it dark. And I like Batman being a darker, but there has to be some levity to him. It's like that's I think my issue was like, and then the Clooney movie went too far with the levity. And then Kilmer was, I thought, a decent balance.
Well, Kilmer was before that.
Kilmer was before, and I thought he was a pretty good balance, but the movie just wasn't that good. Yeah. And then, I don't know. I just.
I think it's just a difference of take and what kind of take on it you prefer. Because I do think that this is better than the first Batman movie. I think Batman Returns is a better movie. And I think, again, I enjoy DeVito a lot. And I think it's by far the best part of it to me. But for me, the plot was just nonsense. And like starting in like the middle of the movie through the third act, the plot is just nonsense. It's just.
Oh no, you're not wrong. But I loved it. I just loved it. And you're not wrong though. The plot is absolute nonsense. But I fucking loved it. I remember seeing that in the theater. That was the first time Dolby was introduced as a sound thing, and it was just. Man, it was just an event. It felt like, and it just felt like with that opening scene with the family it was supposed to be Burgess Meredith, but he got sick.
Oh, he's supposed to be the dad?
He was going to be the dad, but he got sick. So
that would have been cool.
They just threw the audible of Pee Wee and Simone, which is amazing. It was like, and I was like, I remember my dad was like, that's Pee Wee and Simone. I was like, when he said that because he goes, oh my God, that's Pee Wee and Simone. I'm like. Holy shit, it's Pee Wee and Simone. They're the Penguins' parents.
What's your big butt?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a big butt.
What's
your big butt?
That opening scene, it just feels like a Tim Burton opera is starting with the shots of those. Like, why would the zoo have a massive statue of like all that weird shit, and he just goes for
Tim
it.
Burton had control of this film.
Yeah,
you could tell.
It was.
By the way, something that Jerry and I talked about last night was I had pointed out that Bruce Wayne / Batman is barely in the movie for the first 45 minutes.
Yes.
And Jerry was saying when he saw it, there was such a huge pop when he showed
when
up.
you finally see him in Wayne Manor, and then everyone's like, ah!
To which I said, Batman shouldn't get a pop for showing up in a Batman movie. Like that's a problem.
I mean, it's true. If you're most Monday Night Raws kicked off with Stone Cold walking out. Even if his match wasn't until the end of Raw, you
But
still
you knew.
opened. You opened with the glass shattering.
Still got the pop.
Yeah, and everybody went crazy. That's true. So Cody, what grade do you give Batman Returns? Oh, by the way, before we get to grading, we have a sponsor.
Oh, let's do that.
We have a sponsor, hempvita.com. Has that magically appeared yet? There it is. Boom, hempvita.com. Please do us a favor. Go check out Hemp Vita. Show them some love, because by doing that, you show us some love. They sell CBD products.
They
and
do.
All the products, the tinctures, the gummies, the vape juice,
right?
Which you and I love the vape juice.
We'll
vape
take
pods.
the vape juice, we'll swish around our own mouth,
right,
and spit it into each other's
it's
mouths.
So hot.
That's how good the vape juice is.
Not sure how that's supposed to be used.
Gotta try it. I guess you got to be
try
here.
it that way.
The lotions, they use narrowly
challenged
CBD oil. Spectrum CBD oil. 0 THC. It's also legal and won't get you high.
That's good to know.
And I bet, I say 0 THC, both of you are thinking, well, the combustibles, the flowers,
they're going to make up for it on the other end
by
packing the THC into the combustibles.
Less than 0.3%.
Bullshit.
Bam! And they only, Jesus, I thought she was working today.
She is working.
I guess she is working. God, here's
Hacksaw's
Hacksaw Jim
her.
Duggan. Hemp Vita will only use industrial hemp grown where hacksaw.
USA!
God, this
USA!
It's organic with no GMOs.
Tough guy!
And if you go,
There he
you
goes.
go to, you're worried.
Back in.
God damn it. Now, and I know a lot of people might be worried and thinking, well, what about the 2018 Farm Bill?
Yeah, what about it?
Will these products meet that?
Yeah.
They do. All the products meet the 2018
Wow.
Farm Bill, which, of course, signed into law December. We're celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the 2018
Yeah, we're
Farm
in.
Bill.
A lot of people celebrate Christmas this time of year.
No, we celebrate the 2018
We
Farm
put up
Bill
a giant farm bill
and put our
in the
presents
house
underneath
and
it.
put our presents under the farm bill.
Which effectively legalize hemp at the federal level by removing it from the Federal Illicit Controlled Substance and classifying it as an agricultural commodity. Now, how unupset was your son when you told him the truth about Santa and said it's actually the Farm Bill? He was more excited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually more excited because he's like, oh, I don't have to keep continuing that fantasy
Right.
anymore.
I can just go to the real deal.
This is real.
Yep.
The
And
farm bill is real and it delivers.
And you're thinking this is enough.
Right.
It's not. You go to hempvita.com, you type in ramble as your keyword.
Then what happens?
15%
Wow!
off, baby. Bam.
Wow.
So go do that. Show them some love.
it.
Show us some love. Cody, your grade for Batman Returns.
I would probably give it a B-.
All right.
Okay.
I'm an A.
I'm an A on this
'Cause
one.
I love
it
this
is my
movie.
favorite Batman
It's my
film.
favorite Batman film. It just, everything about it. I thought it was, did the two villains perfect with, I mean, and it just, I mean, the next movie, Batman Forever, right? That was that was because Clooney was Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Batman Forever was Jim Carrey with the Riddler.
And that one is, it's tough because Tommy Lee Jones should have been great as Two-Face.
Yeah.
But Jim Carrey as the Riddler takes the whole movie. He just, you can't.
It was the problem was I think they put both those guys in that movie.
Yeah.
And it was those two villains were just
Needed their own
They were
movie.
so over the top.
Right.
That they could. It was just too much.
I
They needed
mean,
someone to balance it back down.
The way you can watch Batman Forever is just say it's a Jim Carrey film, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's because he steals it.
Yes, he does.
He's tremendous as the Riddler, but nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like I mean, it kind of negates.
You never even. I
Kilmer's-
mean, Kilmer's just almost just there. Batman's
he's
just sort of
he's
there.
just kind of there. It's just the Riddler
not a
show.
Batman movie.
Yeah, it's just the Riddler show. He just fucking takes over that movie.
Did we do trades last week between
No,
Gremlins
we
and Christmas
didn't.
Vacation?
So we got to make up for it and do a lot of trades now between Batman Returns and Scrooged, I think. Right? Or is it too? Because it's too late for trades now.
Like, I mean, could you have a Randy Quaid as the Penguin?
Are we trading these? Are
I'm
we
just
trading
saying,
between
can we
these?
throw trades anywhere?
Oh, man, let's do it. Randy Quaid. I think that works.
Does that work?
That works. Randy Quaid as a Penguin works.
Does
I
Chevy
think.
Chase as Batman work?
Maybe. You know that Burton originally wanted Bill Murray. That's
He did.
1,000% true. Tim Burton he wanted
In the original one before Keaton.
'89. He wanted Bill Murray. He wanted Bill Murray to be Batman.
Did
I don't know.
Did Murray turn it down? Or
I
just
don't
the studio
know. I
was
think the
like,
studio was
fucking
like, "Are you
insane?"
out of your fucking mind?" I think the studio was like, "No, we can't."
That would have
But
been
he
amazing.
wanted. I would have loved to have seen that.
Been amazing.
I would have loved to have seen that.
DeVito could have been Cousin Eddie for sure.
DeVito could have been Cousin Eddie, no question.
Walken could have been Cousin Eddie.
Walken is Clark Griswold. I think I would want to watch that just for the meltdown.
If Christopher Walken was.
I think he could have done the meltdown great. That's it. But I think you're all fucked in the hat. Like he just would have gone nuts. He would have gone nuts. Think. But man,
that's a good.
That's a good trade.
That might be the best one.
That's Walken.
But then you get Chevy Chase as the mayor
I think he could have been. He could have been the Trump character, Max Schreck. He could have done that.
I guess he could have done that.
Yeah. Supposedly, again, I don't know how confirmed that is, but that supposedly was based on Trump, Max Schreck.
Was he?
Yeah.
Even back then?
Yep. And I thought one thing that I thought was low-key funny was how Max Schreck's son was just a guy doing a Christopher Walken impersonation.
That was funny.
Huh, Dad? Huh? What do you think, Dad? Like, it was just like he was just a guy doing. You might as well just have like a stand-up.
Trump's son is doing the same
That's
thing.
true.
So.
That's true. They called it. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Good Willow Hunting. We're going to see you next week for Scrooged. Is that Christmas Day? I think it is. Our Christmas or wait, there's Christmas. No, Ramble Radio is Christmas Day.
Right?
Christmas Eve.
Scrooged. I think Christmas Day is.
Now Christmas Eve, please gather the family around.
Get Grandma, Grandpa if he's still around.
For our holiday ramble.
Children of all ages.
The holiday ramble is going to be Christmas Eve, Wednesday, and we need all the youngsters. No, maybe not, but I would.
All of them.
All of them. Well, thank you for tuning in. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow for a Ramble Radio.
Yes, we will.
And we'll see you next week as we talk.
Scrooged.
All right. We love you guys. Take care. Bye.